I'm Dave Cyderbaby. This is Rock Radio UK, and today I'm actually speaking to a man I've been following for a few years, just a few years, Mark Stanway. Hello, sir.
Hi, how are you doing? A few years, yeah, probably still at school, weren't you? And
Yes, I was.
which makes me feel a whole hell of a lot older. But
I'm sorry about that. It was 11th hour. That's when I found you.
oh, there you go. So 1983.
Yeah. I, I I don't know why or what happened. I was in Debenhams in Taunton, and I was just rifling through the albums and cassettes, and there was a bargain basket at the till checkout, and in it was 11th Hour for 99p. And being the cheapskate school kid that I was, I thought I'll have that, try it, and I've never looked back.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, that was a bit of a strange time for us because we weren't getting a lot of help from Jet at the time.
Mm,
We'd done the 11th hour in Chase the Dragon in 1980, but it was 2 years later before it came out. And then we went into what was Jet Studio in Portland Place to do the 11th hour. And I thought the songs on that were really good,
yeah.
but we had no budget for production. So the production, Tony did his best and fair play to him. Um, but it didn't turn out sound-wise as well as we'd have liked. But that doesn't detract from the songs, in my opinion.
Mm.
There's some great songs, and we're doing. I won't say which ones, but we are going to touch on the 11th hour in the show. So in the shows, forthcoming shows.
Okay, well, this is why we're actually chatting because your band Kingdom of Madness is out on tour very, very soon.
That's right. I think a week on Thursday is our first show in Stoke, which is
Okay.
the 5th of September. We're in Stoke. We kick off in Stoke, which was always a great stomping ground for Magnum back in the Victoria Hall days, the handy
Yeah.
Victoria Hall. God, some very fond memories of playing there.
Yeah.
So looking forward to playing live again. We were going to be out in the spring,
Okay.
and of course, Magnum were going out in the spring, so I cancelled it all because
Yeah.
I don't want to be there to compete. Not that we really could compete with the mighty Magnum, but I didn't want to clash and compromise our ticket sales, let alone maybe a few of theirs. I thought it's best to separate it, so we put our dates back to this autumn. And of course, the tragic news of Tony passing
Yeah.
changed all of that. So they cancelled the tour, and that's the end of Magnum. But which was very, very sad and certainly unexpected, in my opinion. But it's nice to still be flying the flag and giving people a chance to come and taste some of the great songs that the man wrote. So
I saw you doing an evening with him Bath a few years ago now. It must have been 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. And
yeah, that was the year after I left. I mean,
yeah, you referred to Tony Clarkin as the Bernie Taupin of our time, really,
okay.
because
Say again.
you referred to Tony Clarkin as a great songwriter on a par with like Bernie Taupin and Elton John's.
Oh, lyric wise,
Yeah,
he's up there with the best as far as I'm concerned. He's such a gift for lyrics. I mean, I've co-written a lot of music in my time and written instrumental music, but I've never been a lyricist. And but when I look at some of the lyrics of Tony's songs, for example, let's say "L'amour dansant"
mm,
or "Soldier of the Line." If you actually read those lines, they're so poignant, they're so skilled. So I, I'm sure if I tried to write lyrics, it'd just be poetry, as simple poetry. So it's not something I go on, when I work with Phil Lynott, leave him to the lyrics, but music I can help with.
right. Okay. Um,
But Tony, he's up there. I can't think of anybody in this country that's better or did better at writing lyrics than Tony Clarkin. So hats off.
yeah. Um, as sad as the passing of Tony and the demise of Magnum now, you are out and about with Kingdom of Madness.
Yeah.
Just giving a bit of fresh air to the songs. So just tell me the thinking behind this.
Okay. Obviously, we've got a new singer. We went out to Spain in April and
Right.
did 3 shows there, which I can't believe how well we were received there. I didn't know if anybody'd turn up, And a big thank you to Bruce Mead from, I'm sure you know Bruce,
Yeah.
for putting all that together, So my idea was not when I spoke to the vocalist, Chris Dando, who's with us now, who's superb. He's got a range that's unbelievable,
Right.
which is a necessary thing to be able to do, with some of the songs, because Bob had got such a range, in his at his peak.
Yeah.
I said, I want the songs to remain faithful to the song, the lyric and the melody. What we do in and around that, because obviously we had a part in most of them, um, is up to us. But we must stay faithful to the song and the meaning of the song. And as I said to Chris, uh, listen to the way Mo sings "Storyteller's Night." She sings it with the same conviction and belief and heart that Bob did. Bob was such a great storyteller in his singing.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to maintain. If the lyrics demanded it, if it was a deeper song, say like Storyteller's Night, which is a magical song, or the More Done Song, which is a deep song, you're telling a story as well as singing a song. And it's in that order it must be. So I wanted to remain faithful to what Tony wanted in the first place, to put that story across. And Chris is doing a great job doing that. It's taken a bit of time to get it right. And I said, do not copy Bob, because that's not the purpose. No, we can't compete with Bob. Bob was the voice of Magnum, always will be. But be faithful to the song, So that was my criteria on that, and I believe we're achieving that. So, and we're playing some songs on this tour that haven't been played since 1979.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
I won't mention them because I don't want to do a spoiler on what we're doing. And we're still in rehearsal, so they've got to get right before we do put them in the show. But things that haven't been played since then, and to me, that's what Magnum is all about from the beginning up to and including what Mickey and I and myself were involved with. I'm not going to touch on any of the songs I wasn't involved with after I left. I'm touching on songs before because I always did them anyway, Kingdom of Madness and the likes. But so we go up to well, let's see, 1994,
Right.
really. So from the beginning to 1994, which I feel that we've got a right to do.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, you've got quite a pedigree of people within the band as well, outside of yourself.
Indeed, yeah.
So,
I mean, one of the most special things, which I had to have Mickey Barker on drums.
right.
In my opinion, the best drummer the band ever had, and without that, it would have never happened. So Mickey being in the band was absolutely essential for me because, I go back to the classic days, with Wally and Mickey, and the rhythm section was so special.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling that same rhythm again because I've got an excellent bass player in Brian Badams, who's got a great pedigree, played a lot with Bernie Marsden in Alaska.
Okay. Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So he's got a great pedigree and a fantastic. He's actually a great out piano player as well. And indeed, so is Chris Dando, our singer.
Right.
We've got 6 out of 7 of us are keyboard players, can all play competent keyboards, which is a great facility to have because everybody's got a great musical capability and knowledge. So
Yeah.
it's a real pleasure. We don't use any sequencers or tricks like that.
Right.
I'm not putting that down because Magnum recordings were very involved with a lot of incidental things, but it all made the big picture. But because I've got, I've got the pleasure of playing with Richard Bailey
Yeah.
as well. That means I've got two sets of keyboards, so we can do those little touches live without playing with click tracks and sequences, which really I dislike immensely. It doesn't give you any freedom, it is too rigid.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to be playing some of these songs again with the freedom that we used to have,
Yeah.
with such great players.
Okay.
So I'm thrilled to bits. I'd be retired if this didn't excite me.
Surely not.
So,
I haven't met a musician yet that actually retire.
yeah. Sometimes when I think about the amount of work involved, I go, why am I doing this at my age? But I
Doing it
get
for the money, so you're
pleasure.
doing it for the money.
Yeah, oh yeah, there certainly ain't the money. Not until we start pulling in bigger crowds, which I'm
Yeah.
hoping is going to continue to build till I drop dead.
So tour, it starts next week. Where are you going?
Okay, I'll have to refer to the list again, but I've got it
Yeah,
here.
that's cool.
We're kicking off on the 5th in Stoke. The next night we're in Nuneaton at the Queen's Hall, which I haven't played before.
Right.
Chislehurst, I haven't been there before. The Beaverwood Club. Sheffield Greystones. Good old Buckley Tivoli.
Yeah.
Portsmouth. There's a section of the Guildhall apparently which has been turned into a venue, which I haven't done either. I can remember playing Portsmouth Guildhall back in the day.
Yeah.
And great, we're doing Wolverhampton KK Steel Mill,
Okay.
which is a nice big gig for us. So I hope somebody comes to that one as well. The next night we're doing Bruce Mee's festival, Firefest,
Yeah.
Manchester Academy. That's on October the 12th. Then we're up to Great Yarmouth to the Hard Rock Hell Festival,
Right.
which we've done once before, which was great, guaranteed good audience there. Down to Hastings to the Carlisle Rock venue, Cardiff, Earl Hay Club, Wakefield venue 23, which I played with Magnum quite a few years back. And we finished this year at the Underworld in Camden on the 8th in London. So
Excellent.
it's been about 14 shows, I think. We don't like to overdo it.
Well, that's quite a good run. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say.
absolutely. Yeah. And two of these shows are going to be filmed with something like 12 cameras. And so we're going to take those away and mix them. So we might allow a DVD to go out, which would be nice to have that under our belt. So we've got two gigs. I think Manchester Academy is being filmed and Venue 23 are being filmed. So we should have learnt the songs by then. So that should be a good show.
Yeah.
Cheers, old boy. Cheers.
Well, cheers. I've only got tea.
Well, this is only ginger ale. Yeah.
Of course. Well, I mean, I suppose we ought to say, where can people buy tickets?
Okay. Well, if you go on Facebook to Kingdom of Madness,
Yeah.
you'll just type that in, you'll find them. And indeed, my page, just put Mark Stanway in, you'll find me. And we've got the two websites with the dates on, kingdomofmadness.co.uk. And it's out in a few magazines as well. But I say it's all over the internet on those pages. Anything with my name on it or Kingdom of Madness, quite easy to find, So
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you're not taking it easy. I mean, I know you joked just now about retiring and stuff like
yeah,
that, but this is quite full on. 14 dates like that with a full set. I mean,
yeah, we got quite a few days off in between. I've got to think of the vocalists,
yeah.
But yeah, it's taking us up to December. So yeah, that's really good. And we're hoping we're going to Sweden next year. We're doing
Okay.
the Silja Rock Cruise. So we're getting inquiries in since Bob announced that Magnum had finished.
Yeah.
I'm not applauding that, but we have got some inquiries coming because of that, because we're the only genuine source of hearing Magnum songs again, which I'm proud to be able to do, you know. And as I say, nobody's ever thought that they're coming to see Magnum, you know, and that's why I don't use Magnum in the title or anything like that. You know, it's I don't want it to be like that, you know, like Mark Stanway's Magnum makes me cringe to think of that, you know. We are a genuine source to hear the songs done with passion and indeed by people that played on those recordings in the first place, which sort of makes us a bit different to a tribute band. Yeah.
Yeah. Going back over your history, what are your fondest memories with Magnum?
Uh, I mean, the beginning was fun. You know, going up and down motorways in a transit van and you know, playing Hammersmith for the first time. I think we got 1,000 people in, which is
Right.
only a third full, but we felt like we were getting somewhere. And of course, Storytellers Night was a major milestone for the band. You know, it's
Yeah.
first gold, first gold album. You know, eventually. uh, and of course, like, you know, I'm so proud to say that we played Wembley Arena and sold that out, and played the NEC a few times and sold those out. You know, I mean, that's a hell of an achievement from a band that really were playing small clubs when I joined. You
Yeah.
know,
Uh,
so
yeah. I
there's a
mean, I
lot of fun memories, a lot of funny memories as well. Because
really.
in Tony's earlier days, when he enjoyed a drink, he was probably the funniest man I've ever met. You know, and outrageous. Uh,
Yeah.
he had so much courage.
Okay.
So and we did. We would split our sides laughing, and that's what I choose to remember. You know, and forget that bit of nonsense after I left. You know,
Yeah.
so I can brush that under the carpet, and may God rest his soul. Talented man.
Yeah. I think my memories of Magnum, I mean, I never got to see you live until like the first Wings of Heaven tour, which was 88 in March of 88, I believe. And
Right.
that was like the pinnacle of the Magnum mountain, I think. And then the Christmas tour, I think the sold out NEC show, I was there, and it was just mind blowing. Just we were sat on the side, not in the main crowd at the bottom, and just looking down at the people punching the air through Don't Wake the Lion. It was just
Oh,
incredible.
what an epic song that is as well. You know, and with all the lights and the backdrops and everything else, I mean, it was a spectacular show. You know, I still look back at the Wings of Heaven tour that was on VHS,
Mm.
and I go, "Wow, we were good."
Yeah,
You
that
know,
that was
uh,
actually the best live album never to be released on vinyl, I have to say.
oh, great! And that's the only album we've ever had that's been top five. You know, straight in. You know, I mean, I
Yeah,
think it went silver in less than 10 days, which was fantastic for us. You know, I'm
yeah.
so really proud. I've got the discs for that one, and so yeah. And if anything, you know, there were a couple of songs on Wings of Heaven, like, you know, Don't Wet the Line. I mean, it's so epic.
Mm.
We weren't overly happy with the production of that album because there was a lot of messing about with using fairlights and things. So we went money no object in those days, but
No.
we hired Trevor Horn's studio, Psalm West, all of it, the whole of Psalm West, to
Okay.
remix the whole album, you know. So we remixed it, and a couple of overdubs here or there, but you know, money was no object in those days. There was so much money about in the 80s. Not that we ever got any of it, but there was a lot spent on it was limitless what we could spend to make it sound right, you know, and
Yeah.
it was hard work. We'd go to all the warehouses where they packed the stuff, and we'd met so many of the staff involved by before the record gets to the record store, you know.
Mm.
And in between shows, we were continually going up and down the motorway to fly the flag, But that's why when you've got the machine working for you, it can't fail really. And we had the machine working for us on that album, so it was really good. And then came Goodnight LA, which was sort of we were looking forward to a release in America with
Yeah.
Keith Olsen producing it, who'd done a massive White Snake album. God, that man produced everybody from the Eagles to Scorpions, White Snake, etc. And the record company decided not to release it in America. Oh God, we spent a fortune doing that album, and so that was disappointing. And the record company sort of moved on to more trendy acts, and
Right.
it sort of tailed off a bit after that, So
I think one of my favorite albums is Sleepwalking, though, the one that came after.
Sleepwalking,
Yeah.
yeah, there's some great tracks on that, and we will play a track off that as well. So, yeah, right up to Rock Art, which is actually my favorite album from a recording point of view because we had no outside influence.
Okay.
We did exactly what we felt was right, and some of the songs on Rock Art, we play a song off that as well or two. Was a really happy album. The band thrashed it out live in our own studio. So we arranged it together and everything was just, it was a happy album, and I think that was the last one we did.
Yeah.
With that lineup, because we did the 95 farewell tour. So.
Yes, I was there at the final gig at the Wolverine Hall.
Oh, where was it?
The Wolverine.
Oh, the Wolfram, yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it was all a bit surreal when I started the intro to Sacred Art. I thought, this is the last time I'm going to play this. I was thinking that while I was playing it, which was and there were a lot of tears afterwards, but
yeah.
Tony wanted to do something else, and which he did with Hard Rain. And then Bob left that because he wasn't overly happy with that. And I got the phone call to say, we're going to reform Magnum. We can't really call it Magnum without you. So I said, yeah, I'll come back. Mickey had got other commitments and didn't really fancy it. He got a lot of other things happening. So then we got Harry in from Thunder.
Yeah.
And the other fellow on bass. And that was the reformation. But personally, it never felt the same.
Okay.
Never quite felt the same, and certainly the rhythm section, it's like back playing with Mickey. It's hard to explain, but when something feels right, it feels right, and
Yeah.
so I can't wait to be playing live again, to go out there and just look over to my left and see Mickey Barker there. Yeah, he's such an incredible musician, great drummer.
Yeah. Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to try and make at least one of the gigs.
Well, do let me know. You've got my number anyway, so
yes.
we'll sort you out and look after you, I promise. So let me know which one and when, and that's no problem at all. Be great to see you.
Yes.
Get you up on stage to introduce us or something.
No. No.
Put you on the spot for a change.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
My days of comparing was one night earlier this year, and I thought, nope, never again.
Oh, come on. Jocks can't resist it when they get a microphone in their hand. Yeah. Dear Paul Anthony as well, Paul obviously, and he's the same. I go back, right back to the early 80s with Paul as well. But give him a mic. You guys are a different breed.
Mark,
totally essential for the likes of us. So thank you.
Yeah, Mark, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Anybody who's got time on their hands and willing to see Kingdom of Madness, please go and check out the dates and find a place near you, because it's pretty extensive, the tour, 14 days across the country.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, well worth doing at least once.
Oh, thank you very much. And we will be in Scotland in the new year as well. So please be patient.
Mark Stanway, thank you very much.
Thank you.